Welcome everybody to Forza Horizon 5. Today we're taking a look at the 1991 Nissan Figaro. So this is a vehicle that is part of the Nissan Retro Rides car pack. And yeah, this only had a 1-year production run where 20,073 of them were made. And this is one of 4 Pike cars that were ever produced by Nissan, which make up the car pack itself, and yeah, so called as they were built at the Pike factory in Japan. So based on the first generation Nissan Micra, which means it's got a front engine, front wheel drive layout, but it does have some decent underpinnings. It's got a front McPherson struts, ventilated disc brakes at the front, drums at the rear, 4-link coil spring suspension at the back, and it's also got thermoplastic resin front fenders to reduce the weight, and a 3-speed automatic gearbox as well. So yeah, this really does predate the whole 2000s retro throwback looking vehicles that dominated that period, as yeah, you know, your likes of your Mini and your Fiat 500, Volkswagen Beetle and such. This comes out way before any of those, and yeah, even though it's not based on a prior vehicle like those vehicles were, it's still, yeah, trying to evoke the kind of 50s and 60s styling that was around at that period. So yeah, and I really rather quite like it, to be honest. It's not the most practical of vehicles, as you will now see with the what is goes for a boot. As you can see, mostly dominated by spare tyre, so not exactly helpful. Does have this at the rear though, but I do get the feeling that is more for the roof that this has as well, because it has a roof that partially comes down, as you can see. So I imagine that does disappear into there. So yeah, not the most practical of vehicles, especially when it comes to rear leg room as well. It does have rear seats, as you can see by the seat belts, but yeah, unless the roof is completely off and you're not a particularly tall person, then you might get in there, but otherwise, yeah, you're really going to be struggling, unfortunately. But yeah, I do like the look of the thing overall. Definitely does look like something from, you know, like the UK from the 50s or 60s. Really like the wheels that it's got going on as well, which are there to evoke the likes of white wall tyres from the 50s. But to me personally, they remind me of the old like tapes that we used to for old 50s, 60s computers. Think back to the Italian job when they start rigging the traffic lights to go haywire, and that's the kind of thing that it reminds me of. Interior wise, it's also pretty nice looking as well. You've also got lots of accompaniments in here as well, CD player, aircon and such, but it's just the way it looks that is a really thing that I like. I love the steering wheel, I love the kind of materials that are being used, and yeah, you've just got a really, really nice looking interior. It's just so much brighter and airier than a lot of modern cars, and I really like the white dials that it's got going as well, with the chrome around them. It's just a really rather nice looking place to be. It reminds me of the kind of like early 2000s Alfa Romeos with their bright colours and plenty of chrome. Underneath though, in terms of power, we haven't got a lot going, to be honest, given it's based on a Micra, and therefore it's only going to be able to really deal with Micra levels of power. So it's got 75 horsepower, 78 pounds-feet of torque from a 1-litre turbocharged inline-4 engine. So yeah, it's not the least powerful Pike car by any means, and since it only weighs 1,786 pounds, you really don't have a lot of weight to lug around, but considering the way it looks, you would expect it to have a bit more sporty, you know, performance. But it's, at the end of the day, as much as it looks like a sporty vehicle, it's more of a grand, you know, I wouldn't say Grand Tourer, more of a luxury, compact car that just so happens to also look like a sports car at the same time. It's not quite as small as a K car or anything like that, but yeah, it's definitely more of a compact luxury cruiser more than anything else. So yeah, but it still looks great, and I like the look of the interior, and yeah, it's also hilarious to drive. So let's get out there and see just how hilarious by taking it out to the open road. Right, so I say hilarious, and that's not because it's particularly fast, because it really isn't, but because it's got really rather comical suspension and handling. So yeah, let's firstly see what it can do on this drag strip, which is not much. And the main reason for that is the god-awful 3-speed automatic gearbox, which all of the Pike cars unfortunately share. It's just not very good. It's not using the power to its fullest, and because it is obviously turbocharged, you want to keep the revs at the right amount, and just keep the power in the right, you know, rev range, and that automatic gearbox just isn't capable of doing that. As you can see, it's just slowing down quite a lot. So even though it is capable of a decent rate of speed, it's not able to get up to 100 mile an hour, as its top speed is 97. And yeah, it's got a 0 to 60 time of 12.7 seconds, which is not, you know, hideously slow. There's certainly far slower cars than that on this game, but yeah, it's just not particularly fast, unfortunately. But I don't care, because it looks the way it looks, and as you can see, it's got absolutely hilariously soft and roly-poly handling, which is just absolutely funny. It's even more dramatic when we get inside, so let's turn. Whee! Lean all you want, and there we go. And because it's front wheel drive and front engined, it's got a decent amount of grip up there, because obviously the engine is pressing down on those front wheels, but also, you know, it's just front wheel drive, so you can easily correct it. And yeah, it's just a hilarious car to drive. So I don't think we're going to bother with the track, to be honest, today with this car. It's just not that powerful. So yeah, I'll let you quickly listen to the car, but it's not the best sounding engine. Yeah, and it's not the best sounding engine purely because the automatic gearboxes make the most of the power it's got. Now thankfully there was another car in this Pike car lineup that could come with a manual gearbox, but this is not one of them. It's only ever available with an automatic, which I guess fits for the kind of, you know, mood and driving it's going for. It's not going for sporty performance or, you know, sports car, you know, driving. It's just to, you know, cruise around and such. And even though it's capable of motorway speeds as far as UK roads go, it's not one that I imagine is all that happy at being at more than 70 miles an hour. But as you can see, it is capable of doing more than 90, which I wasn't expecting it to do, because I've never really looked up the performance of these cars, even though I have, quite frankly, wanted at least this one in a Forza game for a very long time. So yeah, I am glad it has finally made an appearance, even if it is via a car pack that you have to pay for. Although if you have the Ultimate Car Pack add-on, you don't have to pay for this car pack, it's part of that add-on. But if you haven't, and you've just been buying the car packs as and when they've come out, then you will have to pay the £3.50 odd or so, of whatever it is, to get this and the 3 other Pike cars. But yeah, I think it's well worth it, and I'm really, really glad they've finally made an entrance onto this game, quite frankly. No, it's not the best thing in terms of straight line performance, and primarily that is down to the gearbox, but yeah, it's just fun to drive, and I just really, really enjoy driving these kind of slower but still enjoyable to drive cars. And this is the kind of thing that is sorely missing from the likes of Forza Motorsport as far as I'm concerned. And since it's raining, let's put the roof up, because you can do that while out on the open road. There we go. So there we go, we're all nice and dry. But yeah, really, really entertaining car to drive, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do upgrade wise. There isn't any bodywork changes you can do to this car, but there are plenty of engine options, and I imagine you could get this quite hilariously quick considering how little it actually weighs. So yeah, really enjoyable car, really like the way it looks. The performance isn't the best, but it's adequate enough, and at the end of the day it's also really rather hilarious to drive due to the really soft suspension, massive amounts of body roll, but that just kind of evokes the kind of cars from the 50s and 60s that it's trying to replicate. They did have comedy style handling, you know, look at an old Fiat 500 for instance. That was always a car that rolled around and such, but you know, even though you were only doing about 50, you felt like you're doing 100 just because everything was so busy and noisy and such, and this is on those kind of terms, quite frankly. So yeah, but nonetheless, thank you for watching. I do recommend getting this car pack if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.